here. But what's up, good people? Welcome
Hey
back to
everyone.
welcome back. It is black horror humor in this thing. We're back with another review of another hopefully this is a classic, I would say. This is like a mid classic, somewhere
Yeah.
in the middle of it. I would say so, it's not one of the legends, okay? But I think it go in the top
Sure.
100. There's a lot of movies made. This one, people can say, "Okay, I like this movie." All right, I think I can say
It's
that.
a bottom shelf classic.
I
I,
think
I'm
so.
with
I
that. I
think
like
so
that.
because it's just a lot. There's a lot going on,
Hmm.
and with so much going on, the reason why I like this movie is because it's like it's adventure, but also like it has a decent storyline, I guess. But it's
I
more
know it's
like
unique.
I
I like it.
appreciate the jump scares. That's what I appreciate most about this movie.
I appreciate the family dynamic. Well,
Can,
and before we get it,
can I ask you a question though?
absolutely,
Yeah,
man.
When you first hear this movie, when you hear about this movie, what's the first thing that come to your mind?
the glass walls.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
It's them titties.
I was gonna say Rod Digger. Gosh, I was just saying we'd be on
What?
Rod Digger titties. No, he
Oh
ain't talking about Rod
no.
Mm,
Digger
Yeah.
titties. He talking about them ghost titties. I know which one
mm.
Yeah.
he talking about.
Yeah.
Well, before we give it up, we talk about what we talking about.
People are just listening like, what movie
I don't know.
is
Y'all know how we do, man. It's one of your let me fix my little name right here. I had to pull my arms out, but it's your host, Mr. D713 or Drake. You may know me. We have BTG, Baylor the Great, Baylorism right here, baby. And we have Leah, the lovely Leah here coming to represent. And we're here tonight with 13 Ghosts, man. If y'all ain't picked it up yet, we're watching 13 Ghosts tonight. And it's going to be a nice little ride we're about to enjoy.
I don't know how I promise you, I have not seen this movie in 10 years and I don't know, I don't remember a lot of it. And so I know there are gonna be some parts where I'm like, okay, it's about to
We're going
jump
to
out.
hold
It's
up.
about to jump out. It's about to jump out. Oh!
I think we're going to hold up well, but it's going to be fun. To catch everybody up on a little bit about it. 13 Ghosts came out in 2001. A family inherits an elegant mansion from a deceased relative. The catch is that along with the house comes a slew of ghosts that can be seen only through special goggles. Yes. Director Steve Beck, starring Tony
Salute.
Shalhoub, thank you. Mbeth Davids and Matthew Lillard. They didn't put her name in, but Rod Digger as
Right.
well. This following the horror suspense. And IMDb, it was a 5.6, but through like us, the customers or the reviewers, it has 4.5 stars out of 5. All right, that looks pretty, and that's out of 7,000 reviews.
Mm.
So that's
It's
holding
a
nice.
great adventure. Like I just think it's a good adventure movie. I don't think that, it needs to do a lot with the storyline because the storyline is pretty decent, but I think that the ride that you're on makes it better than what it would have been if you didn't have that ride that you were going on.
No, I
Yeah.
can dig it. I feel it.
I mean, the fact that they inherited a house that, next door, they don't have the same type of house.
Man.
You know what I mean? Like it's a reason why, like if this mug goes on the market, it might be a little high,
Yeah.
Would y'all
Yeah,
live in this
definitely.
motherfucker?
Absolutely not.
Uh,
No.
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 I would.
No.
I,
Because
I
I
would
have a
just
hard time, like, in middle school, I had a hard time unlocking my locker, my gym locker. I
mm,
know I'm gonna have a hard time getting in my closet in this house.
man. My thing, sit your ass down. Like if they wouldn't, we gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. Once again, this
You know of old boy, and you know which old boy I'm talking about. If he chasing you,
Mm-mm.
I know what you're talking
Mm-mm.
about too. Yeah.
Mm-mm. No.
You talking about
Cause
big
yeah,
baby,
no.
baby,
Mm-mm.
baby.
Listen, no, no.
No,
Oh, why'd you make me think about
I
that?
got a
Now
little
I'm
bit
gonna
of
be thinking
more to
about the
drink
whole
and drink. Let me
movie.
go ahead and take this on
Oh,
down. Mm. Woo. All right. So this is gonna be a 90-minute run. R-rated. Y'all ready to get this thing rolling, baby?
Let's do this
Ready?
thing.
All right, man. Where my mouse at? Woo. Man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off this light so I can actually enjoy the film.
I'm about to hit this thing too. I may hit a
I'm
Baylor
not turning.
tonight.
I'm not turning my lights off. I'm scared.
Cause what we say, cause what we
That's
gotta
why my
do,
light over there is on.
cause what we have to do,
Keep them lights on.
keep the lights on. Cause y'all live in a glass house without ghosts
No.
though.
No. Give her such puffy lips.
Yep, that's the part right there.
Yep. They didn't like the ending.
I didn't like how it ended. I would give this movie a C plus because I thought it was a decent plot. It wasn't it was kind of predictable, but I don't think that the ending did the second act justice. So if all things considered, I would give it a C plus. CGI, I understand because we were still in that time, in that weird time period where they were even trying to make Shrek work. So, but as far as like the makeup goes and even the corny one-liners, yeah, I would give it a C plus. I'd give it a C plus.
I'll pop on that. I give it a B. I give it a solid B. I think if we haven't seen this for the first time, I mean, if this is our first time watching this, I think it would have been like a lot more jump scares. I don't know how many times you've seen this or y'all seen this, but I've seen it like this is about my 8th, 9th time watching it. So
that's probably my third time. It's about my third time, but it's. Yeah, but it's I mean, it has rewatchability just because of the adventure that they're on, but
yeah. And if y'all go back to the first episode that we with BHH, and I'm like, they had the budget for it, but they had a good this is a very good storyline. Okay, very good story. Now the execution at the end where it was drop it from is not a full A, but it had a semi small cast. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's like from all people that's in this, it's like less than 20 people. You know what I mean? It had like the different ghosts, and it brought in the Latin aspect and science and magic. So you can basically say it's what's that shit called? Alchemy and all that. All that stuff was placed in here, The little boy was annoying. The acting was semi good, I would say. But the blood, yeah, some problems here and there for a 2001 movie, but I rock with it, I give it a B.
Okay. Y'all wanna go ahead and be nice. I gave it a D.
A D.
A D.
I gave it a D. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
I feel like, just like you said, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough characters in this film. We only seen 2 people die inside that house.
Yeah.
And for all
three.
The Matthew Lillard, the girl Cecilia or whatever her name is, and the uncle.
The attorney.
That's true. That's true.
No,
that's
four.
And the attorney.
4.
Yeah, 4.
That's true. I feel like with all those ghosts inside there, they could have used those. They could have used those ghosts a little bit more.
That's what I was saying with the story. Like if the story had more depth, we would have seen more blood and gore, and not just jump scares, but actual deaths.
So, are we looking for more depth on the actual ghost characters?
Mm-hmm.
They can do a bunch of spinoffs. They can do that if they want to. They got the full, because I think they covered it enough to get the gist of the house and what the uncle was trying to do. Because even with the books, when they were flipping through the pages, like they had the different names for them, and they had a little back history to every single one of the ghosts. Even with like only one like with the forgotten prince of the torn prince, and he was like this biker dude, this greaser to say. I would like to know his story more, but it gave me the opportunity to think about it. I don't, but I know it served its purpose right now. It's like, hey, fuck all that shit. We needed him to be a ghost here. He was the number 6 ghost to go from there. So like you said, that boy Baylor came off with a D. Damn.
And the ending was so
Quick.
bad.
The ending, they just said like, let's wrap this shit up.
Yeah,
yeah, and I feel like they would not have had to do that with the ending if there were, even if it was a montage, right? Even if it was a montage of the ghost, or like kind of how they explained what happened with Tony Shalhoub and his family and how the wife died and all that kind of stuff. Even if they did a montage to explain like the and I know there was like a big reveal of like the house, but even explaining how the ghosts became, like how the ghost came to be, that would have added more depth. And had they spend more time in the first act doing that, I think that it would have made it a solid, they would have had a more solid ending to go off of. But, to Baylor's point, we have 12 underdeveloped characters who appear to be violent, but only to scratch people up. Because they didn't kill, the only person that they killed was
the guy
Matthew Lillard.
Right. Well, they don't forget the people they killed at the beginning of the movie too.
That was the one Juggernaut dude. That was one dude.
Because all of them were not killers, though. Like,
he killed because they were trying to capture him.
Right.
But no, he killed people before. Remember, the old dude thought he only had 9 deaths,
bodies, but 40. He actually had 40.
Yeah, and he killed 31 after he was dead. And remember, like, even with the titty slasher chick, she wasn't killing people before.
The chick who committed suicide. She's an angry princess.
She committed suicide. She didn't kill nobody but herself. Same thing with the creepy ass
but she was attempting to kill somebody.
Yeah, she was just like stalking the chick in the bathroom and just like
looked like she was just trying to take a bath and that bitch interrupting her piece.
No, remember the lawyer dude?
Because he was talking about her scarred up titties.
Right, so she was going, filet mignon his ass up real quick.
But he just stepped back into a closing door, and he didn't. I mean, these ghosts didn't really commit murder, and I think to Baylor's point, just like we talked about last time, like for it to be like a horror film, and the antagonist. I guess the antagonist is the uncle, but for these ghosts to be so bad or distraught or torn or unrested or whatever, they didn't really commit any murders on screen. And it's fine if they commit murders off screen, but they should actually commit murders on screen for it to be like a horror film.
But maybe I'm missing something. But what their purpose was to get out the house?
The ghost?
Whose purpose?
The ghost.
Yes, but you remember you had the spells that wouldn't allow them out the side. They were binded to the house.
Right. So my thing was, this is my thing. Are they stupid?
Well, they're ghosts. So
the only reason why I'm asking is because they know they want to get out.
Mm-hmm.
The family wants to get out. Nigga, let's get out together.
Well, they're bound. I don't think that it's anything that you just reason with, like some killers. Like, hey, I was trapped here just like you are. Let's go. They're more like, I'm violent, and I see that you are maybe not violent, and I want to commit harm against you.
But remember, all of them are violent. Some of them just misunderstood. And because it would bring back to the example to the mother, okay, ghost number 4. She's not violent at all, whatever. She's actually trying to help the motherfuckers do their thing.
Right. She was just
And
like, stay upstairs. Don't come down here.
but even when it came down to the ritual, the enchantment, they had to do it. That's what I'm thinking. It probably was something in the Latin that was written everywhere that was forcing them to, okay, you got to go and do the seance or whatever, for the whole eye. So
I
that's the only
think
thing I
one of
can.
them was off meth. The one that was scratching up people, she was definitely off meth, or he was definitely off meth.
That's I think that was supposed to be represent, if not Jack the Ripper, it
Yeah.
was, yeah, one of them was supposed to represent someone, that the one in that cage, the
Mm-hmm.
jackal, was supposed to represent somebody real. Like I watched something a long time ago. All these people are based off real fucking characters, real individuals and shit. So, and with the whole slashing and shit, that's how motherfuckers insane. Like, I'm gonna just cut your ass up much as I can, hurt you. It wasn't Jack. Who was the fucking motherfucker based on?
Um,
But it's a D, it's a D. Like I give it a B because once again, like for a horror movie, this could have been rated PG-13 if it wasn't for the titties. Put it that way.
you know what I think. You know what I think. I think the story. I think the storyline should have been different. I think
Mm.
this shouldn't have been. This shouldn't have. It shouldn't have been anything with family. This should have been like a mansion party or something like that.
Hmm.
But it come down, you have
Okay.
to sacrifice yourself willingly. Like, and that's what the whole, and that's why I say it came full circle, because when the uncle is like, "This is why I chose you, nephew, because you love your family." Like you say, he's a soft ass nigga because you love your family. Like
But it
you
still
go to
could
a
have been, it could
mansion.
have worked.
I mean, hey, who you sacrifice? Before, man, we were talking about on the previous show.
If I came there with my spouse, I feel like I would have to, knowingly or unknowingly, I feel like if I was there with my spouse, I would have to, sacrifice, because it's not a situation of like, well, somebody has to be there for you to make the sacrifice. You just have to believe that you are doing this for your family or for whatever you love. Like, oh yeah, I'll eat this pie, or I'll take a leap into the eye of hell, to save whatever it is I care about.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't like the
So,
dad. I didn't like the dad. I didn't feel like his parent urgency was there enough.
right?
It was that a whole damn movie though.
I was
How did they get?
It seemed like he was concerned. I'm not concerned at that point. Like I'm terrified. If I lose my child,
Children?
no,
in
I'm
a
talking about. But
strange
at first, I'm talking
place.
about when the little
Oh yeah,
fella
yeah,
went
yeah.
missing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I put myself in his place. Like I have a younger daughter and I have a teenager or whatever. If my younger daughter goes missing, I at that point I'm not just there's no talking. It's like you know what I mean? Like, and I get it.
Yeah.
We're watching a
Mhm.
scary movie, so it's like, yeah, that's not a good idea for us to split up. No, while I'm inside that bitch, you go this way. And I'm yelling and I'm yelling. Yeah, I don't know about that one. He was a little
Mm.
too.
Yeah.
So okay,
I don't like how they make men like they get these dudes and they make them seem like they lose all of their edge when they become family men. And it's like they can't be they're not aggressive anymore, or they don't have any passion anymore. They're just kind of like you said, they're concerned, but
but
they're not moved to action. Where it's like, look, no, we have to do this thing. Like, we're
that's been
not
his
discussing a
character.
plan. We are definitely making stuff happen.
But that's been his character. He's always been somewhat soft and irresponsible. 'Cause look, how you go living in a house, like your wife died. I guess he's going through a depression because he lost everything. They were staying in a 2-bedroom apartment or some shit like that with 2 bedroom, one bath. Like the motherfucker was going through some shit before they even got to this house. The daughter talking about, it's just another bill collector attorney, bitch, mind your business. But like it was a lot going on with him. So, but once again, I think he's always been soft. That was the thing. When he was just look at them play. One day he's gonna be throwing her over his shoulder, all that type of stuff. He wasn't about that life from the get go. So I think he played his role within that aspect. But now it brings me to a question because I had it earlier too. What would y'all do if y'all was the parent in this situation? Like Baylor was like, he'll just be all over the spot, like, hey, barking orders,
I
getting people in
I
check.
lose it because look, let me tell you real quick.
Mhm.
Me and my wife went to the outlet not too long ago, and it was packed inside there. I think it was like going, cats was going back to school or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's crowded in there. We seen a little boy in there, and he looked like he was wandering around, right? And so I kept looking at him because he kept looking around, and then people just kept walking by him.
Yeah.
So I went towards him, and then my wife came over there, and she was trying to ask him, where's your parents at? He's a little Hispanic boy. So, we grabbed his hand, and then we walked to like the nearest what do you call those them?
Security.
Like little kiosk,
Yeah. Kia.
Yeah.
and we talked to one of the employees, and so now we're all walking. And then next thing you know, we see this dude run out of Old Navy, and it's his father, right? And he finally sees the kid, and but the dad is crying though. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he was crying, and then
Hysterical.
he gave me a hug.
Oh.
So that's what I'm saying. Like that frightens me.
That panic like will move you to action.
Yeah.
I okay, so for me, I think that this movie would have gone way differently. It would have gone way differently. Because especially if I'm in a depressed state, like I'm thinking if I've lost my spouse, but I still have to be a parent and I have obviously a nanny here to help me out, and I'm still kind of distraught back and forth between like real life and what happened 6 months ago, I would more than likely go out to go see the property by myself, not as a family group, because I don't need extra people around me. So I would definitely go see the property by myself. I would, as soon as I see it, I wouldn't go inside because whose writing is this? And it's a glass house. We get there at night.
Hey,
What's going on?
that's what I was waiting on right there. I would say, at the end of the, why am I going here at night to look at a house?
No.
No, not only that though. This is not a traditional house.
No, it's not. Like I'm like, okay, so where's the house? Because we have the technology now to be like, okay, let me look at the house on Google Maps. Let me see what it looks like on Google Maps. Show me some pictures, blah blah blah. But my first thing when I see the house is automatically I do not want to live there. So go ahead, sign over whatever the deed, the paperwork is, and I'll put it up for sale. But if we can have an estate sale and I'll take the money for it. But as far as me moving into a house that my uncle left me that I don't know, I'm good, fam.
Yeah,
I'm so good.
Twice, and I was 9, and he was weird.
Yeah, I'm not. Why would I move into that house? There's nothing. I wouldn't even get my kids' hopes up like that. Like this would be a very short movie if it were me, because you say it's a couple of hours away. We're gonna get there at nighttime, and it's like, no, I don't need to go see a house at night. There's no reason for me to go see a house at night. And
Another
then
thing, red flag.
Especially with the electricity going
There's
out.
no neighbors.
Right. We pull into a private drive, and even though like, so one thing I've learned in the country, like in Texas, is that when people live past the boonies in the sticks, your closest neighbor is a good half to a full mile away.
Oh no, it could be further than that.
I mean, it could be, but the area that I was in, it's gonna take some time for you to get like to your neighbor's house.
And usually you own all
there's
that
no
property
lights,
too.
there's no nothing around.
Nope.
I have no reason to go see a place like that at night. And I don't have a reason to go see a place like that with my kids. Now, if for some crazy reason I do show with my kids, I feel like as Black people, we operate differently with our kids, especially when they're little. They stay at the hip.
Yeah. Keep your
There's
ass
no
right
reason for them to wander. There's no reason for them to go explore.
here. Don't touch nothing. Don't pick up nothing. Don't even look at nothing.
No.
Look at your feet the whole time.
Yeah. And that's it. Like there's no and what and but even looking at the house, there's nothing that would make me want to be like it didn't even try to pass itself off as a real house. It just was weird from the get-go.
Yeah, I would check
So
it
I
out.
can't, but
I wouldn't have checked it out at night though.
even in Tony Shalhoub's like situation, I could not be the passive parent that hopes that things will just work out. She's like, "Oh, how did you know it will work?" I didn't. Like, no, like it has to work.
How would I get the key back as well? He put that key in one time. That hoe got sucked in.
Mm.
What do you do after that? How do you re-enter?
First of all, the key looks like a transformer. That's a red flag.
I was like, this is not I'm good, fam. But that lawyer was super shifty, and my daughter would have had some hands because ain't no way I'm gonna let my daughter push up on some lawyer or some random dude that just walked in the house and she's trying to get fresh.
Mm.
Nah, I'm good.
And me and Raw Digger was like, let's go, girl.
It's been 6 months. It's time.
But you know, it's weird. I wonder where his wife's spirit, like, are the spirits about to be free to go in to heaven, you know, out of purgatory? Because his wife is there. What's she gonna do? Just stay in the hospital or something like that? There's other questions that may not ever receive the answers.
That's what I'm saying. Where are they going?
It doesn't make sense. Like, are they
bad?
back in Roman or what? Like, I feel like if there was more time, if there was less time spent on the whole setup of the house, because I don't really care about how the ghosts are being released and all that kind of. If we started from there, right? If we started from there and actually got to understand how we got here, then I think it would have been a better setup. But as far as
keep it in, I think they had to keep it at an hour and a half.
No, you could have told that story in an hour and a half though.
The fuck was that? Oh. Okay. I thought I was tripping.
No, because I heard her and then I saw your face and I was like, oh, you can hear that.
I'm sorry.
No, I just feel like it's like, oh, I really want, like, it's a fun, adventurous movie. I think it's a decent horror film. It's aged pretty decently in the last 19 years.
19. That's great.
Yeah, it's been 19 years since its release. I think it's aged decently, but I also feel like there were just some. I feel like the story could have been better told had they just tightened up on like the whole ghost escaping part a little bit, but then expanded more on like the ghost actually giving more depth to the ghost, and then if there were more people in the house, like I like the idea of a dinner party, because if it's a dinner party or a mansion party, you have
a lot more people being killed too.
Probably. Yeah, almost like Carrie's situation.
That's what I'm there for.
Carrie goes to the house party and everybody's like dogging her out.
Yeah, I want more people dead. I got you.
I think that would have built it up a little bit more. Like we would have actually saw the ghosts be horrific in the way they were described.
So more deaths mean better horror.
No, more depth with detail. I feel like this was a great idea with the lack of details.
Okay.
I feel like they was like, look, we just gonna create this house and we're gonna put these ghosts in here, and then that's when all the details just went out the window. They didn't even add the details to it. Like when they did
all the details went into the Latin.
Yeah.
Hey, like I said, once again, I rock. I think once again, I rock. I see where they were coming with it. I like they are going, and I think they said it pretty well. Like they can do a remake to 13 Ghosts and add more blood and gore, people getting murdered and stuff like that, with the same almost ideology behind it. And I think that she will bang like a motherfucker. Like
I don't think it's a bad story. I don't think it's a bad storyline. I think that it could
the
definitely be
execution.
improved upon.
Okay.
But I really, if they did do a remake, I would love to see Baylor's remake with it being a dinner party, because then I think it would be more of a like who done it. Like, okay, so we're all called here to this dinner party, and it could be like a masquerade or whatever based on
What was the other?
whomever it is.
Isn't that what House on Haunted Hill is about? But it wasn't a dinner party. It was like a thing, a reality TV show or something like that. Y'all seen House on Haunted
I
Hill,
don't.
right?
I don't.
But you
like
know,
that's the Tay Diggs one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I stopped watching it because Tay Diggs is just.
That was almost as they had to be brought there for a reason. And they always getting killed left and right.
but at least you could disguise it though. Like I'm me walking up to a house that's full of glass with hidden messages on it.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
wouldn't
walking in
even.
there.
Right? Hey,
No, but if this was even
be
if
like,
this was
did
like
MC Hammer used to live here?
um, even if they did like, even if they had it under the guise of a party or whatever, or some kind of event, and it was just within the theme, I think it would make more sense, because then we can have more character development, and just like Busta Rhymes did it with Tyra Banks and Mike Myers, Halloween. Where they were all in the house and you got to see the different characters and they were all killed in various ways.
Yeah.
So I think that would be, because Matthew Lillard's death, the one death that they actually spent time on about a character that we actually got to know. I feel like if that happened in different ways, in different stages, that would have given more depth to the ghosts. Personally speaking, and we could have had like we could have earned the R rating for this movie.
Yeah, it could have been rated PG-13 to keep it a buck.
I feel like we could have earned the R rating, with more deaths.
Yeah, I feel like you're right. If they didn't show them nipples, this was definitely.
We got, I would say for myself, Mr. D713 or Drake, if you may say.
I've been Leah. Thank you so much for watching. Also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Black Horror Humor on Instagram, and on Twitter, BHH Podcast.
Yes.
And it's your boy BTG. Make sure you keep them goddamn lights on, because you just never know.